All right, here we go. Today we have LaTony Crumble, aka Pretty Tony, a Virginia Beach street legend with ties to Pharrell and the Clips, who survived the crack era and getting shot 3 different times, one of which took his partner's life in front of him, as well as him getting shot in the chest. Pretty Tony, welcome to VladTV.
The city's only Pretty Tony, Virginia Beach finest.
Well, we had Anthony Jeezy Gonzalez on the show some years ago, so it's only right that we have you on as well.
Yeah, Jeezy my bro, man. We came up together as childhood friends.
Well, you grew up in the 80s in Virginia Beach.
Right.
Now, you grew up with both parents or a single parent?
Both parents. Until my father died, they was together for like 40 years.
Okay. And your dad was a street guy?
Yeah, he was a street guy. Definitely a street guy. Everybody knew my pops. Like, he was well known. He was well known when I was a child. I just ain't know it. You know, I was around like after he passed, I started hearing all kind of stories and stuff. But I know stories from when I was a child when things happened and he had to handle his business, and he told us about it. So I know he ain't nothing to play with.
Well, you said, I know my pops had bodies.
Yeah. We had somebody come around threatening my mom at one time over something. My pops had owed him some money or something. And, my mom kind of scared. My pops went and handled the situation.
Okay.
A lot of other things I found out, like being around his old friends and they telling me old stories and stuff when they was younger, when they had my pops around them all, like when my cousin Shampoo died, when Shampoo was alive, he was telling me stories about when my pops passed away, how when a lot of things he did, he came and got my pops to do with him.
Without naming names or situations, how many bodies do you think your dad had?
I can't. I only can say I know of one situation for real, but other than that, just stories I heard.
Well, as you started to figure out who your dad was,
right,
did he try to keep you away from the streets, or did he help you embrace it?
Definitely try to keep me away from the streets. I took my share of getting my beatings and stuff growing up, thinking that he wasn't gonna find out I'm on the corner hustling, but he was working for the city and he was popular and everybody knew my pops, and they'll see me on the corner and come back and tell him. I went through my share of getting in trouble with that situation, but they seen that they couldn't stop me.
Well, crack starts to hit Virginia.
Right.
And you're fairly young at this point. You're like 13.
13, yeah. I jumped off the porch. I was off the porch at 13.
Now, hard drugs have always been in communities, but crack was a little bit different.
Right.
From your point of view, what was different about crack?
Well, me, myself, I never sold soft, and I didn't care to because I knew how to cook, and I knew what I could do with crack. So I never cared for, the soft era. The crack era was my era.
What was different, though? In that era, though,
in terms of in that era?
Yeah, in terms of people's addiction, in terms of type of money,
yeah, but
and so forth.
The addiction was, to us back then, it was like, it was bad. You on crack and like some zombie shit, but it ain't nothing compared to the shit that's out today. Like, that shit was like light work compared to the motherfuckers the drugs they got out today that the people are on. Like, that was nothing. Back then, we can get a car. Somebody give you a car for a 20 rock. All day long. Somebody give you a car, they'll give you anything, I didn't do it, but a lot of women was giving up pussy for 20 rocks. All kind of shit was going on back then. So you thought that was the worst drug in the world. But I knew heroin was, but I ain't never played in that field. I went with that. Came with too much.
Okay, so at 13, you start selling crack. What were some of the worst things you dealt with during that time? Because that's not a very clean game.
When I was young, I really was like people give me packages and stuff, and I had to, I ain't really touch no weight and nothing like that. So I was like on the corners. It was kind of lightweight back then because the police ain't come up with all kind of little jump outs, and they didn't have all that task force shit built yet. Like a lot of stuff you can hide and stuff back then, you could just sit on the corners and stuff. Police was getting out the car, searching everywhere for shit. So it was a little easier then. So it ain't like that now. It's just like you trying to go rob somebody now. Back then you can go hit somebody's crib, whoop, 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 whoop. Cameras, doorbells everywhere. You do it now, your ass fucked up. You feel me? It's a whole different time. You can't get that same kind of money no more unless you jumping out the gym.
Okay, so you start at 13, you start moving packs, selling crack on the corner. At what point does it start to ramp up?
Around age 15, 16, I had this guy called the Meat Man. He was the only person that my mom allowed to come into my house. And he used to bring us steaks and stuff like that. I used to give him drugs for steaks and, you know, all kind of meats. And one day he just came over my house. My mom let him upstairs. He came, opened the door, and just, when he came in my room, he was like, he had some money for me to flip. I'm like 15, 16 years old. He just opened his jacket. He had like 26,000 in it, and it fell on the floor. So I'm thinking to myself, he robbed a bank or something. So, you know, well, I didn't care because he was a crackhead giving me this money. You feel where I'm coming from? So I felt like he wasn't gonna tell on me or whatever. But as time went by, you know, I started hearing rumors in the streets like, yo, Tony, if I go down, Tony's gonna go with me. So he kind of made it like he was like gonna take me down with him. Like, so I'm starting feeling like he robbed a bank or something, because the money had like 2,000, had the 2,000 mark on it, 5, you know what I'm saying? So I got scared of him. And as I bought work and I gotta feed him the money that he wants me to give him off of what I'm supposed to be flipping for him, I was giving him work back. Like I give him an onion or an ounce every now and then to the pay get off. So I start putting the work inside of like a McDonald's bag, and I go hide it by a green tank, and I tell him where it's at, and I just sit back in the rental car and watch and make sure he pick it up, he get his payment. But one day he just disappeared, and I heard he got locked up. So whoop-de-doo, you feel me? But he lived straight like in the same neighborhood I lived in. His family heard that he gave me the money. So like the old people that came over my house and stuff, and I'm telling them, you know, he didn't give me but a little bit, you know, not what they saying he gave me. So what I did was, when they came on my house, she came in, she had start telling us a story about, it was an old safe she had in her house from his grandfather, like some old money they had in the house. So it wasn't no bank, so it cleared so now I'm scot-free and I'm in a new world.
Okay, and you figured out a different way to cook crack than other people were doing.
Right.
Explain.
Well, to me, I went through a time like doing it myself, and I was doing it with like everybody else with the Pyrex and stuff. And at the time when I was doing it with the Pyrex, I didn't know how to play with the heat or whatever. And one day the shit just got too hot and just into little baby pieces on the stove, and everything's just cooking away in that hot ass stove. So one day I just sat down, was just thinking to myself, if the shit melting inside of that glass, why wouldn't it melt inside of the tin? Like the thing you make cornbread and shit like that in. So I started putting it in there, and it worked. From there, I didn't have to worry about nothing going nowhere. So it didn't matter how much I put in there, I can, you know, make it work.
Okay, and you never actually sold kilos or wholesale. You would actually take a kilo and turn it into crack completely.
Yes, always. Always.
Okay, why not flip part of it to someone else and sell some of this here and so forth?
Because I looked at it like, if you cook up one of anything and turn it into 2 or 2.5 or 3, and you front it to somebody, one of them fuck up, you still got 2 more coming. It's hard to take a loss.
Okay, so you'd actually sell crack to other people?
Yes, always.
Completely cooked up, bagged up, everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this operation is going, but then at age 16, you end up getting shot.
Yeah, that was me. It was, see, in Virginia, we wasn't on no gang type stuff. We was doing like neighborhood type stuff. Like our neighborhood didn't like your neighbor. It was some real shit with this neighborhood shit. And we had like, respectfully coming from me, it was like 2 in Virginia Beach that was like go hard, and that's Bayside and Plaza. And we was in the mall, in Lynn Haven Mall, that's like Plaza area, and there was some Portsmouth guys walking in there, and we just happened to like, matter of fact, the dude was walking with a girl I knew that I went to school with, and he was like with like 8 dudes, and he had a chain on like this fucking big back in way back then. So I'm talking about a link, the Gucci link jank, but it was big as fuck. One of my people was just like, he wanted it, and we was in the mall. They just started fighting him, and everybody started fighting in the middle of the floor, and he had a gun in his fucking sock, and he just started letting loose in the mall, and it caught me, but I didn't know I was caught. I ran outside, I had a jacket on, and my jacket started like sticking to me, like got wet. And I'm like, you know, cause you can't really feel them motherfuckers when they go inside you. And that shit got real wet and it started sticking to me. And I was like, once I noticed I was shot, I was like, oh shit. And I started panicking, like I was falling out and shit over, you know.
Okay, but that didn't change your trajectory at that point. You kept going with it.
Yeah, I mean, that was on some old, that, like I said, the neighborhood fighting stuff. But that didn't have nothing to do with no like drug world or nothing like that. So, I mean, I didn't feel like I was doing bad for real. You feel me? I felt like I was a good boy.
Well, you mentioned that the addict came to your room and gave you $23,000.
Right, 26.
So now, sorry, $26,000. So now you have this chunk of money, but you need a plug.
Right.
And you didn't have one.
No. And at this time, I never had like, wait. Like we was getting packages and, you know, a person might come give you a little quarter, half and shit like that. So I'm young. So I'm trying to jump into the real world now. I know if I get this, I'm going to break the bitch down like I've been doing and still hit the corners. So I matter of fact, I let my homeboy Sean partner up with me, got me for a lot of the shit. And we tried to just, you know, raise the bar for a minute.
Okay. And you found a plug in New York.
Yeah, we went up to Trump Towers, and I didn't know nobody in there. All the white people in there was sitting down with the newspapers and everything. And we actually found somebody, a white man, that gave us some coke. And
okay, you mean to tell me, okay, hold on. You mean to tell me 2 black kids from Virginia walk into Trump Towers and find a random white guy to sell cocaine in weight from? Like, that sounds a little crazy.
Nah, I do. But, you know, in Virginia, when you was young back then, that's all you hear about, like New York, you go to Harlem or this and that for coke. And you get up there, it ain't like that. Like, you're just gonna run right into the motherfucker, you feel me? So, but you thinking that you've never been up there and dealing with that type of stuff.
Okay, so now you have a plug.
Yeah, we dealt with him for like twice, 2 times.
Okay. Did you end up finding another plug after that?
Yeah, I found someone at home.
Okay.
And I was dealing with him until he gave me some dark, like, coke, and I thought when I cooked it, it was brown, so I thought that it was melting, but I find out my sister baby daddy had hit me and put some wax in that shit or something, But I'm thinking the plug gave me some fucked up shit.
Okay, so at what point did you meet Pharrell?
I met Pharrell probably like in 93, 92 in the dancing world though. Like we just was cool in the streets before any of that. I was going to Chad house when he was recording, trying to make music, or Gnu house. We was all hanging out at my homeboy Gnu house. He's from Guam. And, you know, just that was our little hangouts. We were just doing stuff like that before the music came about.
Okay. Now, Pharrell didn't drink or do drugs.
Nah, at all. I mean, nothing. Yeah, Pharrell ain't do drugs. He didn't drink. He didn't do nothing. It's to the point like, even back then, we was in the streets. We can go to the clubs and he dealt with he didn't like the type of girls that we like the drug dealer type girls. So we didn't have to worry about Pharrell reaching for our women. You feel where I'm coming from? Like I hung in his world. We hung like on the ocean front, down the beach. You could bar hop and shit like that.
Okay, but his brother was deep in the streets. How deep was he in the streets?
Younger days, corner times. Younger days, corner times.
What ultimately happened with his brother?
Nothing really. His brother cool. Like I haven't seen him in a long time, but back then, like I just knew of him and we'll be around each other, respected each other, hung around him a couple times. But other than that, I don't know his business like that.
So Pharrell's brother wasn't trying to keep leveling up in the drug game. He just did it. He stopped.
Nah. He got into businesses and stuff like that.
Okay, so Pharrell and Chad are around you guys, and Teddy Riley comes in the picture at one point.
Right. I was around Pharrell them at that time too. And the time when Teddy came in the picture, we was all like dealing with Omar Chandler. He sung Joy and Pain with Rob Bass. Joy and Pain. Yeah, he was trying to like manage everybody. He made us a group called the Building Children. And at the time we was doing like talent shows at Pharrell's high school. And Teddy built the studio right beside Pharrell High School. And they beat the door down until they got in there.
Right, because at one point, the Neptunes did Rump Shaker, where they wrote the lyrics.
Right.
For Rex and Effect, which ended up being a huge hit.
Right. Huge. I think with like double platinum or whatever.
Right.
But,
so now the homie has actual real accolades in the music game.
People don't know though. Like it's like that's the beginning. Like nobody knows but like who's around us that he did Rump Shaker. Like he didn't get bread from that or nothing like that. Like, bad deal time.
Well, there was a situation where at a club in Virginia, a guy came in 30 deep and said that Pharrell robbed him.
Yeah, I was there that night.
Okay, so did Pharrell actually rob this guy?
No, Pharrell, come on, man. Pharrell ain't gonna rob a Beatle. And we knew that. Everybody in the streets that know Pharrell knew that. So why, everybody's gonna go up to this guy like, bro, this ain't the dude. You got the wrong dude, and dude heart, it was Pharrell. But come on, Pharrell won't rob a Beatle. I mean, nothing.
Right, but the situation escalated.
Escalated, yeah. It escalated. People got hurt behind the situation. A lot of people got hurt behind the situation. And it kind of got squashed a little bit, Like my folks kind of worked it out, brought the dude to the studio to meet Pharrell after he tried to squash it, and dude wanted Pharrell to listen to his music and all that type of stuff. You know how that go.
Okay, because that situation turned into a shootout.
Yeah. They was trying to hit anybody that was going back on across the water where we live at. across the water where we live at, they're on Hampton side. We on Virginia Beach side. You got to go across the Hampton Bridge to get to our side of the water. So anybody who was going on that side, they looked at like we was enemies. Yeah, they kind of
Right, because one of your plugs got shot in the leg.
Yeah, they kind of hit the wrong person. They hit the wrong person when they was going to somebody they didn't want to hit. Like somebody that had power in the streets, like real power. Like on belly, like Jamaican Don Dada, like that kind of power.
Well, when did you get to know Pusha-T and Malice?
Pushing around 96, 97, 96. Like probably around 96, 97.
Okay. And Pusha T has, well, both of them, both Pusha and his brother are both very focused on what they call drug rap, very detailed accounts of that particular life. Was he involved in any of that during the time that you knew him?
Younger days, he was in the streets. He was doing what he was doing, but he was in the streets. Like, everybody had their own little situations, but he was definitely in the streets. Definitely in the streets.
Were you doing business with him directly?
No, I mean, me, far as why would I need to do business with him? We was around each other. Anything I can get to, he can get to himself.
Okay, but you were not supplying him or anything else like that?
No, hell no. Hell no.
Okay, because as Pharrell is starting to blow up music-wise, then at one point he puts out the Clips album.
Mm-hmm.
And Grindin' becomes an underground hit.
Right.
And you were a part of the entourage when all this was happening.
Right.
So what are some of the craziest things during that time?
During Grinding, it was kind of a time, like, I was happy, like, everything was just moving up. It's just one thing about it, niggas had to stop playing in that street because, you know, we ducked the feds, you know, that grinding talk. So it kind of put a damp on that street play. You had to move a little different. But it was a time to open them doors up for VA.
Well, you went to Diddy parties during that time.
Yeah, I went to Diddy parties probably during the time before that, because I used to dance in videos and stuff like that. Like I was on the team for dancing and stuff, but I went to Diddy parties like in time like Pharrell was traveling doing beats and stuff for people, music. Yeah, but it won't like that, dude. Yeah, it won't that.
You didn't go. You were invited to the after party.
Nah. I wasn't cool enough.
Okay. Right. And you actually were at Hugh Hefner's house at the Playboy Mansion.
No. I went to LA one time to do something with Babyface with Pharrell, and we happened to be out there together by ourselves. And Mariah Carey came to the studio and said she was going to this event, and me and Pharrell just happened to ride with her to the event, and it was like at some kind of brick building, but it was Hugh Hefner's birthday party.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it wasn't actually at the Playboy Mansion.
I seen like 30 women come out and kiss him in his mouth, and I'm like, who the fuck is this dude here? I didn't even know who the fuck where I was at. Shit was crazy.
Well, you said at one point you and Pharrell got into it.
Yeah, over Jeezy. we got into it real bad over Jeezy though, because he felt like I took it like he felt like I bought Jeezy there to do something to him or rob him or something. I don't know. It just kind of hurt my feelings because it's like I wouldn't let nothing happen to them dudes. You feel me? Like harm them in no kind of way, and for you to even feel like that. Like, we really got into it. That Pharrell was like, oh, he even looking at Pusha like, you know what I mean, Pusha? And Pusha like, yo, that man probably got more money than all us. Pharrell, like, he was on Jeezy's side because he didn't know that Pusha knew Jeezy as well, you feel me, in the streets. But yeah, it was crazy. Khalees, everybody was there.
So around this time, you end up meeting a guy named Kevin, AKA K, who would end up being your best friend and business partner.
Right.
And I guess K was working with Guru from Gangstar?
Nah, it's like I met K. Some of my folks had a record label, a building in Virginia, and me and Omar. I was hanging with Omar, and he introduced me to these guys. They from Norfolk, Lushan and his team. They had this record label, and I met K over there at their studio, and me and K locked in that day. But yeah, they was already into the music and, you know, trying to get their artists out there that I even locked in with them, going Jack the Rapper, all that stuff in early time when people weren't even doing that type stuff. So I was seeing shit with these guys.
Well, at one point, you and K actually started selling drugs together.
Right. But I actually hung with K without even talking drug shit. You feel me? Like when I told you I met him at the studio and all that, we became close on some just dealing with women and shit like that because, you know, we're in the streets and we cool, you know, we young. I didn't even know he had all them trinkets and shit. I didn't know he was in a rental car when I met him. So it was, you know, some real shit. Like it wasn't on no, cause I didn't even know he had what he had. You feel where I'm coming from? I'm just thinking he's just cool. And we just locked in, it became cool. And you know, all that drug talk came down the line as we locked in.
Well, right, because at one point you guys started going out of town and doing work out of state.
Yeah. Yeah, I was taking trips.
Right. And you guys are bringing $100,000 in a duffel bag on these trips.
Yeah, look, let me tell you something. I know that bro, I'm talking about for a guarantee, I seen him with a trash bag, 400,000 in his closet, like grabbing money. I'm talking about he's 17 years old. I was 17 years old. We was young. And I seen this man with this kind of money. And I, you know, at this time, you know, we all hustling and stuff. So it became a time that, you know, he started throwing everybody food around me. I even think Jeezy was fucking with him at one time. But he started throwing everybody food around me. And I had a best friend named Sean. I tried to lock him in with him, but everything went left because he was in the car and listening to some stuff and went back and told these other guys that he dealt with, and it became some shit and, you know, kind of fucked up, went sideways.
So during this time when you and Kay were going out of town, what was the most you ever bought kilo-wise?
Like 8. Like 8. Was young as shit too.
Okay. 8 kilos and they're going for what? 17, 20 a kilo?
Yeah, like 16, 17.
Well, every time you guys went out of town, you said this will be the last time. We're not doing this after this.
Yeah, we said that twice. One time, the first trip we said it, we went up there and it's supposed to have been the last trip. And we went up there, he had like 80,000 in the stash department. We go out to eat and the guys take us out to eat. When we came out the restaurant, the whole van was gone. So, you know, we thinking somebody stole it. But it got 80,000 inside the van. And, you know, Kay cried, but went back and, you know, regrouped. We went back up there probably a week later and he bought a new van and everything. And we went back up there and we came back this time, but we had 6 bricks in the van. We was on 13 in Delaware, and I was asleep, and Kay was driving, and he just tapped my leg like, and he was like, "Yo, wake up." Soon I open my eyes, I just see blue lights every fucking where. So my stomach said, boom, that shit just crashed. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because you know, you got what's in the car, and there's not one state trooper behind us, it's two. So they pull us over, and they pull us out the car, and I'm just waking up, but I'm shaking. I'm shaking real bad. I'm shaking like I don't even know how to stop shaking. I never been through this that I couldn't stop myself from shaking. And the police look at me here like, yeah, why you shaking? I said, I just woke up, I'm cold. And then Kay asked, could he use the bathroom? And I'm thinking he could run through the woods. And I'm like, nah, don't run, Kay, don't run. I'm thinking he could run. So the police, is one of them inside the MPV, and he knocking on the walls and shit. I'm talking about, I never prayed to God in my life. I didn't want to play both sides of the fence. I always was told that, you playing both sides of the fence ain't right, you get punished. So that's telling you I knew what I was doing, what side I was dealing with. So if you came to me and said something about God, I would plug my ears up and walk away from you, because I heard that a baby don't get blamed for nothing because he don't know no better. So I don't know about this Bible if I don't know about it. So I'm a baby, you feel me? But this day, I just looked up and just prayed. I was like, God, I won't never do this again. Let us get out of this. He heard me. The police got out right before he got to the drugs. He just stopped, gave us our shit back. We driving off. Now it's like, I forgot I just prayed to God that, you know what I'm saying? It's just us. So now I'm all going back home. We happy and all proud. Oh, they can't find our spot. You know what I'm saying? Heart of a lion. Right now I got a heart like a pea. Get in the car with some drugs with me now, but I'm scared to death, you feel me? Because I understand you don't play with God. Me going through a lot of things that I went through, I know now that he real because he sent a lot of signs to me during the time to let me know that I was playing with him. And when them signs was coming to me, I'm not doing nothing as far as hustling or nothing like that, so I'm thinking I'm doing right. But the whole time, when he comes to me and says this to me, I start crying because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What do you want me to do? In a sense, what I'm saying, this girl named Keisha, she came to me one day and we went out and we came back to her house, and we were sitting at a table smoking a blunt, and she just bust out crying. And she said to me, she said, Tony, God just told me to tell you something. I said, what did he tell you to tell me? He said, from the 10th year of da-da-da, from when you went through da-da-da-da, she didn't know shit about me for real, that he was gonna come back and pay me a visit. So I just bust out crying after I counted my years from when I got shot. And I'm looking at her like, what do you want me to do? And it scared the shit out of me. So far as everything I've been going through in my life now, it's like I'm trying to follow the right path. I tell all these stories about what I've been going through as far as back in the days, but really I want everybody to know, the past, I don't live there no more. So I don't want no one to judge me for that. You feel me?
Well, after you guys saying this will be the last time, you get pulled over, they don't find the drugs, you decide to do more trips. And then one of the trips ends up ending tragically.
Yeah. So we end up and get back, and after we make it successful from that trip, we said one more trip, just one more, because it was gone so fast. So I don't know on the other side things that I know now from watching my other folks' interviews about the situation that was like it was set up before time, like the dude that kept calling for us saying he had the situations for 15,000. So me and Kay took that trip and went back up there, and we had 2 girls with us from the club, and we left them in the hotel and got in the car with the plug got in the van with us. And we started riding around looking for a safe spot. First, we went to a McDonald's. We should have looked and noticed the signs then. We went to a McDonald's, and the dude kept talking in Spanish on the phone, and Kay slapped his leg like, yo, didn't I tell you to talk English? And the dude was like, yeah, bro, what, you scared? And Kay was like, yo, just speak English. Then we left that spot and went to another spot. That spot wasn't good. Then we went to a spot where the Globe was at, where Nas did the video at, The World Is Yours, the video, that big ass Globe, and we parked over there. And, you know, things just went so left. Like, I mean, regular procedures, they parked in front of us, went in the trunk and got the cooler out, and I just started messing with the radio. As I'm messing with the radio, I know Kay was in the back getting the money out, the panels, because pulling the panels out. And while I'm turning the radio, I just felt a loud noise. It said, boom, it just shot straight in my head. And I looked over, and he had his arm inside the window just hitting me. Once he hit me in my chest, it was over with. I don't know how Kay got out the car. I don't know none of that type of stuff. Like, I just seen him try to get up, and he fell back like, you know, like someone just passed away. And then as I kept going to sleep, I woke up one time, the dude was at my door again, and it looked like he reached to hit me again, but I went back to sleep again. I kept dozing off. Hopefully he didn't shoot me again. I don't know. But when I went to sleep again, then I woke up again. I saw everybody running with the money to the car, and the money blowing, running the money back and forth to the car. And then when I woke up again, I went to sleep again. When I woke up again, all the cars was gone, nobody there. And I see Kay laying down. Then I pass out again. When I woke up this time, Kay's at my door, and he pushes me over, and he just started driving me. And I'm like, yo, just run into a car. You know how New York traffic is. I'm telling him run into a car just for somebody to see us before we die. And I remember rolling the windows up because the air was getting inside my bullet wounds. And then next thing you know, I don't know, hospital, wherever he pulled off at. I just remember a lot of white people coming up to the car, and then one police telling me, so who did this? Who did this? And I'm looking at him like, just get me some fucking help. And from there, you know, it was history, hospital time.
So you yourself in this situation, how many times did you get shot and where?
My chest, I got shot through my lungs. I got shot through my chest, my bottom of my chest, and both of them bullets came out the back. I got shot in this arm 3 times. I got shot through my head. I tried to block one bullet, and it hit me in my arm right here, came out right here, and went in my throat. That bullet stayed in, and till the swelling went down. When the swelling went down, they just cut it. It was sitting right at the top, and they just took the bullet out my throat. Yeah, so
this is what, maybe 7, 10 times?
No, 9.
9 times. Okay. Now, Kay gets shot at the same time.
Right.
Now, you wake up in the hospital and you don't know what Kay's condition is.
No, but I'm thinking he drove me. You feel me? He drove me. I got shot that many times. He didn't get shot that many times. So I'm thinking he all right. So the nurses keep telling me, he keep asking for me. Like, you know, like he keep asking for me. But the whole time he was gone.
Well, Teddy Riley told you that Kay got killed?
Yeah, Teddy called my room after the funeral. Kay, I have a friend named Mike Etheridge, and him and Pharrell and Chad used to be the Neptunes together. And Mike went solo, and K was his manager. K became Mike's manager. So that's pretty much how him and that Teddy Riley situation came about with K, and they built in a relationship because they actually got deals together and stuff like that.
Right. So you're in the hospital laid up after getting shot 9 times, and Teddy Riley calls you and tells you that K had died. How did you feel when you heard that?
How did I feel? What? I was super scared. I was super scared, because I felt like I'm not from New York. I don't know nobody up there, you feel me? I at least felt like somebody was up there with me. Now I'm by myself. I'm the only one alive, and I'm thinking they're gonna come kill me in the hospital. Yeah, so I became super scared. But it was a old white man that laid before me, and I knew if they come in there and kill me, they was gonna kill him first. Cause I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't move or nothing. So nigga, I was just gonna look at you while you kill me, but I knew they had to kill him first. I know that's fucked up.
Well, eventually you get out the hospital and the guys that shoot you get arrested. And you end up cooperating with the police in order to convict them?
Well, one of them had told everything on, he had ordered some guns or some shit, and must be for protection against us, but he had told everything on all of them, and well, yeah, I would have did it for Kato.
Okay, so did you end up actually taking the stand in court against these guys?
I went to court, but I only went one time because I didn't have to go back after the dude told everything.
Got it. I mean, in that game, is that considered snitching or no?
I'm a civilian at this time. I'm done.
Well, no. I'm saying during that time, you were not a civilian.
Nah, I was a civilian. I was done. I was scared of anybody that had any kind of drugs. I don't know. I was done. That was it. And there was some other deeply stuff inside I had to do for K, for him. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of him and God.
So at that point, you were totally done with the drug game.
Right.
Why did that situation even happen? You were trying to actually do business with these guys.
I don't know. I heard they owed somebody from a car lot. I heard they owed somebody some money or some shit. I couldn't tell you for real.
Well, you end up getting shot for the 3rd time. What was that situation about?
Well, that was a situation with my cousin Shampoo, but it was some situation, his situation, but we're all a team. We all together, standing outside, my sister, baby daddy, the guy he's beefing with, and they're actually talking it out, really talking it out, but the sideline people, the team. My sister, baby daddy, gonna ask the other dude why he holding that gun and ain't using it. And soon he said that, everybody's arms just raised up. And it was that kind of close of shooting going on though, like some cowboy shit. I have it, and I just ducked and turned to the side. Soon I turned to the side, I got hit again, but I didn't know where I was hit at. But every night for years, I used to have dreams that I got shot in my head at McDonald's. I got shot in my head at Kmart, and I wake up right before I die. I think it was the dreams for that, because I don't have the dreams no more. So it was telling me. But after that, I thought I was gonna die because I got shot again.
Where'd you get shot?
In my arm. So when I go to the hospital, right, the lady says, she's pumping, how to get the blood. They see all the old bullet wounds and stuff. So they come into the joint saying I'm in a gang or whatever. I'm telling the lady I'm not in a gang or whatever, you feel me? So she looked at my arm and she said, enter, exit. As soon as she said exit, I know how that go now from being shy. I just told her, patch me up. And they looked at me like I was crazy.
So at that point, that's the third time
Right.
you actually got shot.
Yeah, I don't have them dreams no more. So it's not gonna happen again.
Weren't you in a situation with Tim Montgomery, who was an Olympic gold medal winner, when he was actually selling drugs himself?
Yeah, Tim's a friend of mine as well. And you're talking about the time when I was speaking on the Connect about when some guys was gonna come in the crib and get him. And I was standing in front of the door, and I know the guys that was coming in there. They called me that night and told me what I had on. And if they would have came in there, they would have struck. And they didn't come in there just because it was me standing in front of the door. But if they would have came in there, they would have did people dirty too.
Okay. Why was Tim Montgomery, who had won a gold medal in the Olympics, why was he selling drugs at that point?
At that point, why was he selling? Okay, I think because he was going through that situation with the steroids thing, the case, stuff turned bad in them good worlds, and they got to do what they got to do to survive. He just could touch something that other people couldn't touch because he knew people. And he probably got used to that world because he was swinging with my homeboy, not my homeboy, my cousin Shampoo. That was his people. So Shampoo embedded a lot of stuff into Tim.
Well, in 2008, Tim Montgomery was indicted for dealing over 100 grams of heroin. Now, he initially denied it, said that he knew nothing about it, but then later that year, he was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years in prison. How'd you feel when that happened?
We in the streets. I mean, shit, 5 years, we in the streets. And he wasn't like Jeezy, like my brother, but, I dealt with him through my cousin. So, as far as, we're in the streets.
Well, at one point, Pharrell was told that the police were looking at him as a sponsor of a drug ring because guys like you were around, guys like Jeezy was around. The clips were constantly talking about drugs and selling and everything else like that. What happened when Pharrell was told that?
He left. Pharrell left Virginia. I was told that he was selling his crib and stuff back then, but he left. He got the fuck away from everybody.
Right, because after that, Jeezy ends up getting busted.
Down the line. When that came about the drug ring stuff, that was during grinding days. Like, that was way back then. Jeezy got busted. They had a move going for a while. So that time went by.
Well, right, because the feds take a while to build their case.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they was on Jeezy then, though.
Okay, but eventually they were on him. He ends up getting arrested, and he ends up cooperating.
I don't know how all that go about.
Well, we talked about it. He said he didn't cooperate against any of his people, but he did cooperate against some other people.
So they say, but with the guy Pipe who's actually telling on you, he won't tell us on the guy Johnny. So they say, so we need you to cooperate on Johnny, and we'll make sure that your sentence go light. They said, but if not, you can get life. So me, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, but I ain't never been in trouble before. I'm like, most I probably get is 10 years. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know nothing. Nah, you know, 'cause I'm not gonna tell on my friends. So he said, but we also want you to know that and put out paperwork and stuff, implicate my mother, my wife, my sister, and my aunt. And said, and if you don't help us out, we're gonna have a indictment to go pick them up tomorrow. I mean, I was like, you know, down the truth, like, I grew up on a certain code that you're supposed to keep your mouth closed, you know, but when you start mentioning the women in my life, you know, I'm like, wow. When it comes to my wife and my sister who don't know anything about prison, drugs, or anything, I'm sitting there like, yo, they can't go to jail, you know? So I'm like, I gotta try to figure this thing out.
I still don't know about the case stuff. I never even really cared about that stuff.
When Jeezy got arrested, did you hear about it?
Yes.
Okay, so were you worried yourself because you guys had dealt with each other over the years?
No, because I know my heart and I know his heart. I wasn't never worried about nothing like that. Never. He ain't like that, bro. For real, he ain't like that. That man got a great heart.
Well, everyone has a great heart until they're facing 32 years of prison. Right? And that's when you start seeing different sides of people. So you could feel that, yeah, oh, he got me, he'll never do that. But people are facing 3 decades, life,
Well,
whatever else.
You gotta look at it like this. He had 32 and he ain't pulled nobody.
How'd you feel when you heard he got 32 years?
I mean, the whole shit was fucked up. The whole shit was fucked up. For one reason, Jeezy was somebody I knew guarantee anything happened to me, he was coming for me, you feel me? Like, he was like my brother, you feel me? So with him gone, it's like, damn, that's not a good person off the street to me, you feel me?
Well, when he gets busted, I remember like the clips, they start making videos saying, hey, we don't got nothing to do with this. Here's my Range Rover. It's got stock wheels on it. I just rap. Because there was potentially a situation where Jeezy could have implicated them in his situation.
I'm sure, but he didn't. You feel me? I'm sure he didn't.
Yeah. Well, he ultimately said that they were just rappers and they had nothing to do with this operation. But he ended up still getting 32 years.
Nah. He came home before.
Well, he got 32, but he ended up coming home early.
Right.
Well, later on, while Jeezy is in prison, Pusha-T releases the song Snitch.
Right.
And a lot of people assumed it was about Jeezy. And Jeezy even said when that song came out in prison, his life was in danger.
Right. I thought it was about Jeezy. But
Okay.
I know it was never told to Jeezy it was about Jeezy. It's real is real. But yeah.
You think it was about Jeezy?
Yeah. I think they did it on some fly. But at the same time, if you're saying it ain't, leave it where it's at. You feel me?
Well, you know Pusha T and you know Jeezy and you have relationships with both. How do you feel when that song came out?
Like, damn, that's fucked up. Like, I can't believe niggas reaching far, like doing shit like that. Like, the love, the friendship, all that shit was too strong, and everybody are still out here. Like, even if not anything, leave the shit alone.
Well, later on, Pusha T drops a song called Brambleton, where he says, it was sad watching dude in Vlad interviews. Really, it's about me. He channeled it through you. So he's talking about my interview with Jeezy in that song.
Right. And he also said, there's no Tonys in my circle.
Oh.
And that's plural. And we're the only two Tonys.
Oh. Anthony, Tony. Okay. Aha. So he's talking about you as well.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was never said to me, but I took it as that.
Okay. So how do you feel about that?
It bothered me. Because one thing, I would never say nothing bad about nobody, you feel me? So, like, I couldn't believe it because I never sat down with nobody and they said, no, that they have a problem with me, like, to actually sit down and discuss it with me. If I heard it, it might have came through somebody. But so for me to actually hear it come out your mouth first, yeah, it kind of bothered me.
Well, during this whole time when you were selling drugs, you never went to prison.
No, never went. I never been to prison. I have no felonies.
Okay. Did you have misdemeanors along the way?
Yeah, child support, shit like that.
Okay, but nothing drug related?
Yeah, I have, but you know, it's a situation that I beat. So it's nothing I got in trouble for.
How do you think you went that long without going to prison?
Got away from it before it got crazy.
Well, no, it got pretty crazy while you're still in it.
Well, yeah, everything was crazy still in the streets, but I mean, God, how about that? God, he got another plan for me. I don't sit here and say everybody in the drug game, they go through something. They're gonna go through it. They're not gonna escape it. You're either gonna get shot dead or go to jail. Maybe I felt mine.
Well, you didn't go to jail, but you did get shot multiple times. So there's that. So it's not like you got through completely unscathed. You definitely took a lot of damage. You lost your best friend, and you definitely took a lot of losses. Well, you said that at one point a working man was considered a sucker back in the day, but now you realize that the drug dealer is actually the sucker.
Yeah.
Explain.
Growing up, it was just so easy to get to $100 or you feel like you got to go to work for a whole week for $300 or something like that. It ain't make sense. Well, you can make that shit in 10 minutes, you feel me? Like, it just ain't make sense. And we was doing so much and we was having so much at a young age. Maybe it was a young mentality to have. But as I grew up, you know, you learn that, I mean, drug dealers go to jail forever, fuck relationships up, all kind of shit, you feel me? You leave women behind, kids. So it's like, it just ain't worth it, you feel me? Like, the working man, I'd rather go to work, find me a good job and stay on these streets forever. I remember the time, let me tell you a story, right? I remember the time when, you know, I had to get away for God to work on me, to myself. So I moved away from Virginia to Atlanta. I never had a job in my life until I moved to Atlanta. I get this job. I got to be there at 5:30 in the morning. I cried my whole way to work, bro, because I never had a job. And I'm thinking my friends, you know, they living, nigga, you feel what I'm saying? The shit hurt me so bad, I cried the whole way. But it was a life-changing experience. God had to take time to show me that nobody owes you nothing. I tried over 10,000 different ways that I thought would work, and none of them worked, but I never gave up. Never gave up. But that working situation Working man is it. Don't go to the club. Don't throw no more of that money to strippers. Don't buy no bottles. Buy a business.
Well, you talked about the situation with Kay, where you guys said, you know, we'll go out of town just one more time, one more flip, and then we're done. And that situation ends with Kay being dead and you shot up in the hospital. Do you ever go through days where the money's tight and you go, okay, you know something, let me just do one more flip. I'll go out of town, do it one more time, and then I'll be done. Then I'll be done.
Nah. It was, come on now. It was time growing up at that period of time back then. I probably thought or tried, you feel me? But now, nah, I'm gonna think of something else, how I can make some money doing something else. Nah. Cause I know, for one, I'm too old to be playing like that, you feel me? And we know the kind of numbers you get, and I just say 10. 10 to have everybody gone around me, you feel me? I'll be old as a bitch. Ain't that cool about me then? I'm trying to live these lives. So, you know, you got something going on legal, you know, Vlad, let me know. I'm trying to get in on it.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, I was around BMF during their heyday. It was insane to watch the type of money they were throwing around and all the cars and the girls and the jewelry. But I'm looking around going, all y'all going to prison. Like, there's no good ending with what I'm seeing right now. And I was right. I completely moved away from that. I said, I don't want to be caught in the middle of this when the feds come, because it's so obvious what's happening here. People go and get into this game and they get flashy and they show off, and along with that comes the feds. You know, you get on their radar, you get the jealousy, you get the people that want to rob you, you get the people that want to kill you. It's a mess, man. And I haven't interviewed anyone in this game that walked away from it without being seriously damaged in one way or another, you included.
I don't know nobody. I don't know nobody. And I don't know nobody. I don't know nobody. That shit ain't happening. So working man is it.
Yeah. And you actually wrote a book, Just Wasn't My Time.
Yeah, man, I wrote a book about, I mean, it ain't really like, when you say just wasn't my time, I put until now. But it ain't really about like me having bad moments. I had good moments that I almost made it to, you feel me? But my book is a life-changing experience and is a good read, man. You know, it'll show I came from where everyone came from and the things that God's doing for me in my life now.
Well, that's what it is. Pretty Tony. Appreciate you sharing your story. Wish you all the best. You know, the homie Jeezy is in the background right now. I got to see him before the interview started.
Yeah, Jeezy's a good dude, man. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I rock with Jeezy. Well, I did his first interview when he first got home.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it. I seen it.
I'm better now.
Oh, everyone saw it, man. Everyone saw it.
Yeah, Jeezy's a good dude, bro. He put me on his podcast, you know, let me tell my story from my book. And ever since then, you know, them doors been opening for me. So again, as we're young, it still goes on. So, you know, that man, heart good with me, 1000%.
That's what it is. Pretty Tony. Until next time. Peace.